Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Evolution Sim Racing Season 3 promo race live from Brands Hatch. I'm James Parfitt, and I'm joined in the booth by Dean Biggles here this evening. We're going to start off race 1 straight at the grid. It's Tristan Nobriega in first with Joe Newman in second, Luci Lachese in third with Thomas Pugh in fourth, Ewan Stitchbury fifth, Paul Collinshaw in sixth, Marcel Brettenbach in seventh, and John Brettenbach in eighth. Joe Glass ninth, Nathan Crook 10th, Matty Hoyland in 11th, and James Bostock in 12th. On from that one, in 13th, Hussein Sarah Cardesla in 13th, Joe Sparrow in 14th, Jeremy Orlemans in 15th, Stephen Donnelly in 16th, Javier Talavera in 17th, Scott Kostrick 18th, Rennie Stangirl 19th, Jean Ludbrack in 20th, and then Daddy Switzer in 21st, Yanis Ulber 22nd, Robin Astin 23rd, and Tom Anderson down in 24th. On from there is Gareth Newton 25th, Chris Keenan 26th, Graham Matthew 27th, Alex Cohen Rats in 28th, and Rob McGee in 29th. We're in the new season, guys. This is the promo race number 2 live from Brands Hatch. We have got just finished qualifying for you, and that is done and dusted. We've got 2 new classes. GT3 Premier are in yellow, and GT3 Evo, which is in bronze. They are Am and Pro-Am in the bronze and Pro in the yellow. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. We have got race 1 will be 30 minutes with 1 pit stop required, and then race 2 will be 30 minutes with top 13 reverse, 1 pit stop required, and then they get higher points as well. Championship at the round 1 will start next week at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the 14th, and then on the 21st it will be Spa-Francorchamps. Then we have a break right the way through to 11th of January when we get back at it with Sebring, and then we go to round 4, which is Le Mans. Round 5 is Watkins Glen, round 6 is Suzuka, and then we've got Mugello, Circuit de Americas on round 8, and then we finish the season off on Barfirst on Mount Panorama. What 1 drop round allowed? They are excluding the final round, so you cannot drop the final round. There will also be a sunset 1 hour race here as well, which will be 30 minutes practice, 20 minutes qualifying, and 1 hour at least. 1 pit stop required. Same with 30 litres starting fuel limit. Okay, so there's lots to be done here this evening as well. But let's welcome in Mr. Biggles as they go out on their pace lap here. Dean, good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, we just saw a couple of drivers actually have a little bit of a moment under the pace lap there. I think that was Paul. I think we get a quick second for a replay as going around here on the in the background there. Paul Collinshaw, maybe? Something's come together here. There, they turned into each other. Here it is. Yeah, that's not a way to start it off, but at least it's a promo race, James, so no points to lose today, just more of a how are you going to be feeling, your motivation going into the next week's round 1?
Well, I think a lot of it is just basically what they're going to do tonight is find out how they're going to be on with the car. You know, we've got a couple of the new Audis as well here this evening, so the new Audis are taking shape, and basically people have jumped into them, which is always good. So we'll be able to see how the new Audi gets on. Of course, that is Tristan D. Nobrega from the RDSA esports team. They are coming around Sterling's now before we go off to Clark. Welcome in, Mark Robinson. Welcome in, Phil, across the pond. I've consumed far too much alcohol tonight to race tonight, says Mark. Well, fair play to you, Mark. As a man that doesn't drink. I'm sorry there, sir. I hope you're enjoying yourself here. But let's get this up and running. The pace car is going to be in. We have got the heat 1 with a pit stop. 30 minutes on the clock. The pace car's in now. Nobrega gets them lined up. He gets them backed up. Is he going to bolt away? We are going to go and have a look at him starting. Here he goes. Dina Brega is at the front of the line with Thomas Pugh in the BMW behind him. And then we've got another Audi there of Luke Lachese behind that. There's accidents already on the start. But we're up and running with Tristan Brega there as well, who gets a jump round through Pilgrim's Rise up into Druids. There's action side by side further back. Nathan Cook is having a nice little battle further back, as is Thomas Pugh and Jean Brettenbach. with Joe Glass and Marcel Brattenbach as well fighting it out. There's action all the way through here. 30 minutes of racing to go. Well, there was a bit of a messy start for Luke Lachese there as well. Looked like he had a bit of a moment. There was a couple of Joe Newman has jumped to the pit. Jean Brattenbach had an incident. Paul Coleshaw, Chris Keenan, Alex Conrads and Rob McGee. They're all kicking off at the beginning here, Biggles. I think they're forgetting they've got 30 minutes to go.
Exactly. But that's always the opportunity, isn't it? If Gap Car drivers do take those advantages. Now they have the South African duo in P1 and P2. As you can see, the drivers getting those positions. Of course, you can see the drivers, unfortunately, to lose those positions, or 4 of them currently at the moment. Once again, James, plenty of racing to go. We'll go back and have a look at some of those replays soon enough. But Joe Glass, there it is, isn't it? The man in the different category, of course, is once again proving he can mix it out with the big boys.
Joe in the GT Evo, in the Evo group, of course, on the right hand side there as well. We'll bring you up the overalls just to let you know where everybody is at this moment in time, as Ewan Stitchbury in the Merc there as well. There's Jeremy Orlemans in the pits. He's gone directly straight back as well. John Ludbrick has had a moment. Gareth Newton also, but Stitchbury here in this Mercedes up one place from where he started straight away. He is on the run, down it through Druids now, and keeps it locked up there as well. Side-by-side action with Joe Sparrow. He is having a nice little battle with the boss man himself, Mr. Bostock, who is in that Porsche behind him. They're trying to get through as well. So 29 cars on track here, Biggles. Not a bad field at all for a promo race.
Oh, it's yeah, good. It's a fantastic field for a promo race. And I'll be looking forward to this. I'm seeing Carlos flashing his lights there for a second. No, obviously getting used to some of those new cars. As you said, the Audi, it's going to be very interesting. Here's Stitchbury. The leaders are off, my friend. They just go 2 for now. But it'd be interesting to see them race again each other this season. No team orders between the 2 South Africans. So we'll see how it pans out. He wants to be the overall alpha wave. One of them, Matt, James. What are you thinking at the moment? Brands Hatch, of course, a bit of a roller coaster ride. One of my favourite UK tracks.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a very interesting circuit. We're on the Grand Prix now, which, you know, thank God, really, because all of these cars going around the Indy, that would have been quite interesting here. As Marcel Brattenbach is got Matty Hoyland and Jean Brattenbach in front of him here as well. I'm probably going to presume they may be brothers, but we will find out more as the season goes on here as well. As we can see with Stephen Donnelly, what has he been up to here as well, as he's coming down the start-finish straight now.
Yeah, that was the start.
Yeah, he's up and running and going again, but Marcel Brattenbach in that Ferrari has got Hoyland tucked up right behind him. So has Thomas Pugh. He's got Ewan Stitchbury in for company in the Mercedes, with only Gareth Newton is the other Mercedes there as well. We've also got the battles. It's quite interesting because we've got the battle in the Evo class, down for 4th, 5th and 6th with James Bostock, Javier Talavera, Danny Switzer, Scott Kostrick, Joe Newman. They're all fighting it down further down as well. Looks like Gareth Newton's had a little bit of a moment and has unfortunately had a crash, has Gareth. As we'll be able to see here as well, what's he done in the Mercedes. He's coming down now into Sterling's. Did he just go round? He is. That back end's on its way. There he goes, Biggles, straight round in a circle. Not an ideal moment, but Javier Talavera down in 13th at the moment. He is nicely tucked up with Danny Switzer and also Scott Kostrick. So that battle's materialising quite well. In fact, Talavera has just gone past Bostrick down in 12th and 13th place. So we'll take a look at that, I'm sure, very shortly. Hoyland here having a go. There is Talavera. It looks like Bostock just went off the side of the circuit. He did. And then got caught up, and Talavera did go through here, Biggles. Some interesting fights going on already. Nice little battles developing through the field. Should be a fun 25 minutes.
It should for sure. Stitchbury still on the back there of Thomas in battling for that P3 position. Scotty, as you saw there, Joe Newman there also catching up the back there of the boss man, James, as you see. Danny Switzer's now catching all on the back there of Javier Train. And Matty Hoyland out there. Where is our basically, you weren't here last season there, James, but we have the DXT Motorsports boss, or whatever you call it, chief crew man, or at least supporter out there, usually in the chat, they're giving us information about that situation. We shall see.
not here at the moment, but thank you so much if you are here for joining us as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells. We've got great racing. We've got the TSRC GT3 going on AC right at this moment in time as well. If you do want to have a look at that one, as you can see, Joe Newman here. He is in the new Audi. Is Joe getting to grips with that? I wonder if it's as slidey on the back end as the old one was. I know with the old one you had to run a big chunk of wing to make sure it stays down. It looks like Bostock's gone in as well. A little bit early for a pit stop though, mind you, but unless he's just getting it out the way, I guess is an option.
Getting it out of the way because traffic might be affecting them. I think that's not a bad idea. Last season that did pay off for some of those drivers getting those pit stops done actually. Reece Saunders is one of them. He's not here currently at the moment. Hopefully he will be here for the first race of the season officially. But yeah, he was very some of these drivers last season, James, you'll see that they chose those pit stop strategies very wisely. They get out in clean air, they put those banker laps in after banker laps after banker laps. All of a sudden they're back into play later on in the race, and that's the key. So whether you take it early, it's happened actually before with both the South African drivers that leaded this race. I think it was lap 2 or something like that, or lap 3 in it early, because there was a big accident up the road, and they boxed just before that big accident, so they're very lucky that was in the reverse grid race, and allowed them the opportunity to get clean air later on. So yeah, it's all about timing.
Yeah, it always is with pit stops here as well, and it's a very tricky thing to get right. As you can see, that BMW off Switzer's off the side of the circuit, that's allowed Joe Newman through. Joe's only down 10 places now, mind you. He started all the way up in second place, and has now dropped all the way down as Robin Aston is trying to get through here. Robin in that white car, that's Danny Switzer with Scott Kostrick behind him. Kostrick's gone, unfortunately lost that position to Aston here as well, and no, he should now get on his way. What about going on further up the field with Thomas Pugh and Ewan Stitchbury as they're fighting it out with Nathan Crock here as well. Stitchbury making his way up onto the back of Thomas Pugh. Stitchbury in the Pugh in the BMW here, Biggles. It's going to be interesting to see which one has which car develops here, because they've had that week 13 update, as we know. It's going to be quite interesting how each car now reacts, and they see how they get on. It's going to be an exciting one, I think, this season.
It should be, and remember too, James, they got the damage on and all assists are off except the clutch, so it's big boys. 14x drive-throughs, 20x race disqualification, but you've got 2 fast repairs allowed per race. But yeah, as for the cars, it's just about getting that practice in, isn't it? And getting the feel for any of those little updates and changes that have happened in motor car and simulation.
I think that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, it's more just making sure you're learning what the car can do, what is actually going to happen. Because some cars you jump in maybe for the first time and you think, oh yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And then it goes and decides that it wants to kill you. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, you've got to be really careful. You know, the Audi last season, before the new one, Stitchbury's just gone up the inside. Is he going to push the BMW off Pugh? He is, and he is John in that Merc. A great move from Stitchbury there, as the Pugh does end up dropping down the order there, Biggles.
Excellent, excellent. Great. That's a classic overtaking pass opportunity that you can do here at Brands Hatch. Oh, they're blinking. That's one that's going to be throwing it off. I did see Stitchbury blink a couple of times. We all know about the blinkers, just that tiny little disconnection between the server where it can't pick up where your car is, but thankfully it got back. Sorry there, James. You were ahead, because we got Nathan as well, too. Nathan Crook has been always doing a fantastic job in his class, and at the moment he's on the back there of Marcel Brendenbach, sorry. Brendenbach? Brendenbach, yes. One's of a H, one's of a K.
I can't answer that question, obviously, at the end of the day, unless that is a slight spelling mistake there as well, but I'm sure we will find out soon enough on that one. I'm pretty sure there should be the same.
It seems to me it would have to be strange, isn't it? 2 people with almost a similar name, so, but in a racing league at the same time, like, could be even
different ways of spelling it,
Yeah.
which is not something you normally see, should we say. But there you go, you never quite know. I'm sure we will be notified if that is an issue as well. But still some great racing going on. 20 minutes remaining. Nathan Crook here in that green Ferrari, chasing down Brettenbach in the other Ferrari in front of him. And you can see they're fighting it out here as well. Mixer classes, Nathan is in the Evo and Brettenbach is in the Premier. So we will show you at the group standings very, very shortly. James Bostock looks like he's having a nice little battle down in 2030 as well. He's battling away with Alex Cohen-Ratz here further down once more. So we'll see how this goes on and how these battles develop, but it should be an interesting one. As also up front, Lucchese has got a little bit closer to Nebrego. He's not quite close enough to mount a challenge here, Biggles, but he has climbed up a little bit.
Well, but you've got traffic at the moment. You can just see they passed Matt Hoyland's just behind them currently in the moment. He's in the 27th place. So as you can see on your track map, they're going to start approaching that traffic, and that is where you're going to see perhaps that strategy come into play. About you know all about blue flags. Not going to talk to you about that one there, James, but it's about approaching them at the right place at the right time, isn't it? Because you do happen to see lots of gains and also lots of losses. You're going to find too, generally with these two drivers, James, that they end up boxing at the same time. So I just want to see if any of them, considering it's a pre-season testing race, really a promotional race. I would switch it up a little bit, try something different. So it looks like somebody might have gone off the track there.
Yeah, somebody looks like he's gone. Gareth Newton may have had another little tat-tat-tat with the wall as well. What did Gareth get himself up to as he's coming now into Surtees? That left-hander again, the back end of the Mercedes is going there, son.
And he moves forward, hopefully. Oh, he backs up because, that's lucky because that's when they come around the corner right there. He's just saw.
Yeah, it's probably better for him to back up than go forward, mind you.
Right,
but at least he absolutely did on that one as well. As you can see, Lucchese now getting a little bit closer to Nebrega here in the front. So we could have a battle for the lead developing very, very shortly.
Yeah, race on, gentlemen. Race on. Go for it for the RDSA esports racing team. None of them are boxing on this lap as we're about to start another lap. And there it is, you can see. And just lurking in the background, well, I mean, you're not lurking up 7 seconds down the road, and there's Stitchberry, of course, with all this bit of the Stitchberry train right behind him, which is all these cars that you can see. Nathan has gone into pit road. Keep an eye on that one a little later on, no doubt, whether they're going to pan out. Most of the drivers are going to start coming in soon. I'd expect these drivers in this battle, if they're being held up to box, like Joe Glass, look at this. He's just a man on a mission, isn't he? And the overall, of course, if you look at the group tower and his class, bingo, look at that, he's right up there. He's got a 2 second gap, I think, at least down to the, probably more than that, isn't it, to the next driver down the road there. So Joe Glass back on top of the Glass Tech Racing team.
Yeah, he's trying to get forward. It is Joe leading of the Evo team at the moment. So a great job from him, battling away with Thomas Pugh. He's going to be looking at moving himself even further forward, I'm sure. I'm not quite sure if there will be a promotion or a demotion. Well, it can't be a demotion, but a promotion for Joe Glass. If he carries on this pace, I'm sure he should be in the Premier class and not in the Evo, but that's not my decision. And I don't want to presume that as well, Biggles. But to be fair, if he keeps showing this pace, he should be definitely within the next Premier bit.
I don't know. I mean, he showed like this last season as well. But then again, there was also lots of moments as well too where he didn't have very good races. So perhaps that could be the very reasons to why. We shall see. So Stitchberry's gone into pit road. Joe has gone into pit road as well too. So we see them switching it out. Very soon I'll pull up who's gone into the box and not. James is about to... Where is Mr. Bostick? Yeah, there he is. So the boss man. Spotting a new livery this season here for the Porsche. And if that's probably driving not really around the outside of the B mark. Good defensive work there from Rob.
Yeah, seeing Motorsports Rob McKee here in that lovely liveried machine. Doing a great job holding off James, but for how much longer, that will be the question as they're coming down now through Clark and then on that run down into turn one. What is James going to be able to do here? Is he going to be able to get through? Jean Brettenbach there as well. You can see the top from third to fifth, sorry, are having a nice little tidy battle as well. But let's see how long Bostock takes or whether or not he's going to go and make a dive. He's got Kostrick just in front. He has made a dive.
Locks it up.
Did not get it stopped there. I bet that ABS was screaming at him in that Porsche as well.
Here we go. So sorry, James. So they followed each other in. Now, I don't want to keep it on pit stops too much, but I do in this situation, James, because One mistake that drivers have been making, in fact, everybody's coming in now in the top 5, 6. The one thing I do want to mention is that I want to see drivers actually doing, can't even see it behind there, get out of the way. Drivers making mistakes in the pit road, missing their boxes, you know, having to back up and stuff like that. That's cost many of these drivers. Look at that, look at the exit, bingo. Just like that. But it's all about getting it perfect, James, isn't it? Because I mean, I don't know why, but see, drivers and I don't know, you don't practice it enough. I guess it's also difficult to practice it because you need a lot of cars in front of you and stuff like that too to try to spot your pit box, don't you? Rather than just an empty pit lane.
Yeah, it's not the most easiest thing to practice, to be fair. You know, you can practice your entrance and exits and making sure you bury it. But at the end of the day, as you can see, colour short here. But go past Joe Glass, so great move from Collie Short as he has gone past Joe Glass. Different classes, of course, as well. And you can see these guys battling nicely. Glass just about to go up the inside of that Ferrari. Yeah, he definitely does. He don't want to hang on. And away he goes on that run now down through Pilgrim's Drop here, Biggles. We've got literally about just over 15 minutes to go, and still some nice little fighting developing already.
I wanted to go back to the bus man there for a second, if I can, because I was just wondering if it's because of the other car there, James, like that he had to. I mean, you know what I mean? Like because he came in too deep and he had to swing it off to the left there to avoid smacking it into the back. Right, let's see if I can actually find it at the moment there, James. But anyway, you can always watch it back on the replay. So everybody just skip back on your YouTube if you want.
Yeah. We can do that as well. As I say, James did go off further up on that one. Glass still going round it here. He has pitted as Joe Glass is now sitting in 6th overall. So the leader of the Evo class with Nathan Crook is in 2nd place there once more. You can see the pit stoppers here on the right hand side, who has stopped, who has not stopped. And you can see they've all got 1 next to their name. So pretty much everybody has stopped, apart from Chris Keenan, who is out here as well, as he's got 2 pit stops to his name
Joe?
there as well.
I don't know if Joe had 2 pit stops to his name. I don't recall that. Could just be a little Joe Newman here at the moment. So it's 7 positions down, possibly, of course, 2 pit stops. I wouldn't imagine he'd still be in a nice position at P9 after 2 pit stops, but it is what it is.
No, it depends on, of course, you know, how we got on with the pit stops and what actually went on there as well, because you and I both know pit stops you could end up getting a stop go or anything like that for speeding in the pit lane. So yeah, for now we'll have to see how that all goes for them. But yeah, very weird situation there for Joe Newman. Maybe he's had a bit of an incident. Did he get involved? Wasn't he involved in the incident right at the beginning?
I think so, yes. I think you're right.
Mistaken. I'm just trying to have a look through. Possibly there might have been an incident involving Joe Newman there as well. But let's see how they get on with Thomas Pugh and Ewan Stitchbury. And Jean Brettenbach and Joe Glass behind him. You can see Glass has got Collishaw behind that one as well, and then Joe Newman and Nathan Crook behind them are still battling out. So
actually, Joe Newman left the pit road. There it is. He started in the pit road, I think. So that's probably the reason why it's counted. Yes.
Yeah, probably the reason why he's got his first one there as well. So yeah, nice little tiny battles here, Biggles. 10 minutes remaining.
We'll see if we can get the job done. And of course, the South African duo still leading this one with a big gap now over Stitchbury, 11 seconds. I think they're going to be on fire this season, and I was just going to say it's going to be a big battle between them. Careful, Biggers, don't trigger James without flags. Exactly. So I just read that, Phil. We all know about James and his blue flags. James, you would love, obviously, the oval racing. Sometimes you know that we do the US Oval Racing Series. Well, they don't have to move out of the way, James. And that becomes even more difficult. And there's the overtaking. And at the moment, Joe Newman back up a position that he lost from the start of the race. There we go. Come on, Joe. You got Joe Newman, you got Joe Glass. But if you get past Paul, you can catch the other Joe.
You definitely can. Well, at the end of the day, regarding the oval race and the blue flags, as I've learned, they don't move out of the way. And it doesn't really matter much in ovals because, let's be real, Biggles, as you and I both know, it doesn't matter if you start from 2 laps down, there's always the chance for yellow flags that you will come back and win. So on that one, but Robin Aston and Rennie Stagel fighting out 2 Porsches together here as well. Coming into the last 10 minutes, what are we expecting?
Not, well, I mean, a few of these drivers. It's been a relatively clean race. I guess that's the drivers want to start out the season, like, you know, on a nice positive note, like a very friendly, welcoming. Now, they're not, I mean, of course, then again, it's a promotion race, isn't it, James? They're not going to get their elbows out. They're not going to be door banging or beef as much as you'd expect later on in the season. So, because you will see that, James, it happened at the end of last season. You got some really good door banging going on between the drivers. They're just taking it easy, you know. Once again, I guess you don't really want to get in beef with all the other drivers because it's so early in the season, so that's going to end up down later on down the track code, down into deep into the season. You know, drivers remembering what happened in previous races and go, all right, okay, we're at it again, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, side by side racing like we've got on the screen.
There's the beef.
Yeah, Stangl lent on him there. Unfortunately, I think that was Stephen Donnelly.
Yep.
Stangl lent on him going round up through the corner there and pushed him out as well. That was off the exit of Dingledale, but side by side at Dingledale was never a good idea in general. It's not something where you should be going.
This is good racing, but I think it was right on cue, actually. They must have been listening to us, James. Just as I said, everything was going all, you know, pretty, you know, straightforward, a good, clean race, and then all of a sudden we got some door banging happening here. But that was good. I was wondering how did that catch Stephen off, actually, in the background there? Is he just trying to avoid it?
No, he was on the outside.
That's right.
There we go. Yeah. And the outside going up through Dingledale is never a good idea. Let's just put it that way. And you've got to rely on the guy on the inside really tightening up the exit. And if he don't tighten it up, well, that's the result of it here as well. Pugh and Stitchbury still going at it here. 22 minutes, 8 minutes remaining of race 1. Of course, we will have race 2, 30 minutes directly after, before we go once more here for race 2. So let's see how this goes. Obviously, top 13 reverse. So where they are at the moment, it will be a reverse grid. Joe Glass and Jean Brettenbach with Paul Collishaw there as well. It looks like Alex Cohenratz has had a bit of an incident and gone off the side of the circuit.
He did actually, James. That was actually before, I believe. So it might have still been sitting there waiting for this traffic to go through. The Dutch Rumblebees, I love it. Look at that livery. There it is. So he's gone off, and I think he's waited there, James. See that? He's doing burnouts. Yes, he's sitting there waiting. That's why we saw that big puff of smoke, because I know this happened quite early, and he's elected to reverse it up there so we can get a nice turn around there. And then, I love that livery, actually. It's very nice. But there it is. Nice. New driver for the season as well, too, did not recall last season.
Yeah, I think there's a few, to be fair. I think we're expecting quite a good field of 30 plus here. So this should be quite an interesting season of development. Thomas Pugh in this BMW trying to trace down Ewan Stitchbury in that Merc. He's just not quite being able to do it. Stitchbury doing what Gareth Newton hasn't been able to do through this race and keep that rear end of that Merc on the floor. The Merc is very slippery, Biggles. You start trying to get a little bit aggressive on the pedal, on the throttle, the Merc will turn around and say no and spit you out here.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a race driver. That's up to you guys that know that. Yeah, of course, if I had a real one, I'll tell you, James, how it would feel. But I do not have anyone similar. I mean, once again, yes, I do. I own all these tracks and cars, all right? iRacing, thousands and thousands. There's the driver you just saw that went around before. But yes, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of cars and tracks, and I've never done a single lap of any single car ever. Anyway, that's just something else.
I tell you what I did have the other day, and I went on I actually won the race was it last night?
You won a race, James?
Night. Yeah, I did, on a Assetto Corsa I was driving, you know, the 90s BTCCs, the Alfa 155, the Volvo Primera, the Vauxhall. I was driving the Alfa 155 at Donny in a slightly damp track and actually beat 2 TCR drivers from JPB. So big props to me as Jean Brattenbach in the BMW chasing down Joe Glass. If anybody wants to get involved in any of the AC stuff that we do it for a bit of fun at the moment. Come and get yourselves over in the JPB Discord. All links down in the description below, and you can come and have some fun there as well. You know, we've got TCRs.
Sorry. I think
Colin Shaw.
Oh, he's blinked.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of a moment there. Nabrega's also being off as well.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, Joe Newman in that Audi getting it all wrong. And unfortunately, coming through that corner there, Biggles, there's just nowhere to go. What has Nabrega been up to? He's been off the side of the circuit as well.
They're boxing.
I think that's just to get their damage on using their fast repairs. But Nabrega has also been off at the side of the circuit. Cohen Ratz has also gone off as well. What did Nabrega do? Because he's lost a chunk of time. Oh,
playing in the sand. Stop playing in the sand, Christian. Stop playing in the sand. All right, well, that's obviously cost any chance of getting the race win now, but he's still got pretty comfortable. That's the good thing about us having a nice gap there, James, because he's still got an 11-second gap there to Stitchbury. So even that costing him, well, give us, say, 5 seconds, I think it was, James. Maybe around. No, actually, it was less than that. 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was quite close together. There was some interesting. That one moment may have just cost him the lead of the race, unless something else happens here. But you know, we'll see how this develops with Joe Glass leading the Evo class with Jean Brattenbach right behind him, battling away. Again, Glass is up 4 places. Biggest mover at the moment is Danny Switzer and also Robin Aston. They're up 8, shared with Graham Matthew from KM Racing. Also up 8. Joe Sparrow is down 10 here, Biggles.
Yeah, I'll show you actually that at the moment that you just mentioned there. So there is your gainers and losers throughout this. But of course, once you get to promotion race, so hey, this is the time. If you're going to have one of those bad races, you have it during your promotion race. Of course, you got drop week, so if you're going to have a bad week, you do it to the drop weeks. But as you said, of course, you cannot do that. Use the drop week on the final race, right? I think you said that at the top of the show there, James.
Can't be used on the final race. Zach Sweeney, hello, fellow Sibby nominee.
Oh, here we go.
Yes,
I'm a nominee.
We just can't help it. The general public Biggles voted, and me and Zach did appear in the top 10. So you know, who knows? Let's see what happens on that one.
No US casters.
Well, that's really not our fault on that one. But let's see what happens with Brattenbach and Glass as they go fighting out. Donnelly and Talavera are also literally nearly nose to tail, down in 17th and 18th overall here as well. So we'll jump down there and have a look at them very, very shortly as they were battling once more side by side. We're going to be near enough. I think this is going to be the final lap. Oh no, it might be this and one more, I think, before we see Barney. Brattenbach really pressurising Glass, dropping down this Pilgrim's Rise because he's got to look up at Druids or wait until he gets out of Surtees down into Hawthorne.
Joe Glass, remember, in a different class. There you go, Joe. He's going to do a fantastic job defending, and you know, he wants to keep this place. If you look at that group tower, of course, he's right up there. So he's not going to give this one give it away. No doubt, you don't have to. This certainly like this in this race, and like even though they're different class, James, you know that for a fact. You don't have to give your blue flag and allow them through. This is a motor racing, and you have to do that, of course, if they're lapping the cars, which then it won't be if you look at the track map, because our race leaders, you can see, going from sector 2, 3, 4, 5, I can't remember, so 5. I'm used to the Formula 1 sectors, my friend, but yes.
Yeah, generally, though, the thing is, we can see there should be the white flag lap now from Lucchese, who is out in front. There's Barney. There's been a year 1 spinner there as well. Joe Sparrow looks like he's had another form of a little bit of a ta-ta-ta coming around Clark. Was that with Spark? The problem is was it with Lucchese as Glass and Brattenbach there as well? The leaders are now going down into Graham Hill. We will see them over the line very, very shortly as Heat 1 has come to the end. I'm not entirely sure why that checkered flag has felt like it's come up already. A little bit weird here, but we do this, you know, live TV, software issues. What more can we ask for?
Well, no at least drain pipes popping out of the circuit, right, and causing a red flag session. I think any of the problems like that, James. But we'll have a look at that, as you said, Joe. Let's have a look real quickly at what's happened, Joe. As you mentioned.
Was it all on his own? It was all on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, on the grass.
Oh, a little bit to the right, my friend. You got him straight down the pit road.
Yeah, on the grass there as well, unfortunately. But let's pick up on Lucchese, who's coming around now. He's going to be getting that win on that last rundown. Clearways we go. The new Audi Evo takes its maiden victory here in the Evolution Sim Racing. He is your winner. It is Luke Lucchese is the winner, with Tristan Nobrega coming across the line in second. What's going on with Stitchbury and Pugh as they're literally battling out now for the final run round through Clark? You can see Pugh in the BMW on the red-hand side. He's going to try and tighten it up. Stitchbury cuts his nose off. He is going to come over and take the third place there as well, ahead of Pugh. And Joe Glass will win the Evo class there as well. So well done, Glass. You have won the Evo class.
Yeah, and as we at the moment, there's Brayton, but I can't going to pronounce that one, but Zach is saying it means a barbecue sandwich, really? Oh, Zach's doing some work, are you?
Yeah, he's there on Google, isn't he? Let's be real.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you don't know that off your... Yeah, go ahead.
No, he doesn't know that off the top of his head, mate. So let's be real. You know what I mean? He ain't that educated. He's the young man from obviously up in Norfolk. So, but love you really, Zach. I'm only messing, mate. Don't get, don't start. And
yeah, you might be able to win a Simi Award, of course, for being commentator of the year, but you certainly won't be winning any Nobel prizes for educational science or anything like that. Here we go, James. I think we're going to get our warm up, a little bit of a warm up at the moment there. So. What do you think, my friend? A JPB intro that we missed at the very start because we were falling behind? Or would you like to talk about the cars?
Well, let's bring up the results first from Heat 1.
I'm jumping the gun there, James.
Yeah, as well. We can bring the results up from the first heat and see what happens here as well. The results will be in. Luke Lucchese is your winner with Tristan D. Nobrega in second. Ewan Stitchbury in third with Thomas Pugh in fourth. Joe Glass takes the win in the Evo class with Jean Brattenbach in sixth, with Nathan Crook in second in the Evo, seventh overall. Joe Newman in eighth with Hosian Sarakakadesla in ninth, rounds out the podium for the Evo class there as well. Paul Colshaw in 10th, Scott Kostrick in 11th, James Bostock, Danny Switzer in 12th and 13th, Brendan Stangle in 14th, Javier Talavera in 15th, Robin Aston in 16th, Jeremy Orlemans in 17th place, Stephen Donnelly in 18th, with Marcel Brattenbach in 19th, Tom Anderson in 20th, then John Ludbrook in 21st, Gareth Newton in 22nd, Alex Cohenratz in 23rd, Joe Sparrow 24th, Graham Matthew 25th, and Matt Hoyland in 26th, with Rob McKee in 27th place. So there we go. Great battling so far. Great racing. We've only got a couple of minutes left of this warm-up session as well. So as per normal, myself and Biggles, we'll be right back after this break.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's not a second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Okay, guys, we are back once more here as well. You can see the top 10 drivers in each class will get personalized driver trophies. The top 5 teams, 30 trophies to be won. And obviously with a new season starting next week as well. You can get yourselves involved. All links down in the description below. So it should be good for anyone who wants to come and get involved and wants to come and have some fun out on track here as well. So much love to all of you, and that's something to look forward to for the drivers for season 3. Some nice little trophies there, Biggles, to be won here.
I was just reading the names too on the trophies at the moment. They got Tom Cruise, but I won't say the team name there, but you could read it, of course. Team short that anyway, James. But the cars, speaking of which, right? And we just saw, well, the Audi, right? The Heat won.
Yeah, the new Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo version there. You got the Ford GT that nobody's picked, the McLaren MP4, BMW GT3 with a Mercedes AMG GT3 as well, Lamborghini Huracan, Porsche 911 GT3R, and of course the Ferrari 296 GT3 here once more. So practice is going to be finished in about 45 seconds time. So we will get back and bring you up the action. As you can see, all of these are great cars. Battles here as well, but let's see what happens as we're going to get race 2 underway very, very shortly. So let's keep an eye. Let's see what happens, and we'll see how race 2 goes. Don't forget, there will be a top reverse grid here. So this should be an interesting one for some of the drivers, especially the likes of Joe Glass, who's going to have to try and make his way through the field here, Biggles, as well. It's going to be always difficult on a reverse grid anyway, and it's going to be even more difficult for Joe Glass as we've got that top 13 reverse.
Well, that's when the drivers, this is what makes the league exciting and difficult. Because obviously, it's one thing to get your car on pole and just run away with it up the road there if you've got the pace. But when it comes, of course, to the reverse grid, you're going to have to show your pace again, but get past all those cars at the same time. And of course, this track, yeah, it's got passing, overtaking opportunities, but it is difficult. And you can see a little bit of door banging, which we should have. Come and think of it, James.
We'll bring you up the grid for race 2. As you can see, it's Danny Switzer in first with James Bostock in second, Scott Kostrick third, Paul Collishaw in fourth, Hoysian Sarakadesla in fifth, Joe Newman sixth. Then we've got Nathan Crook in 7th, Jean Brettenbach in 8th, Joe Glass 9th, Thomas Pugh in 10th, Ewan Stitchbury 11th, with Tristan Dinabrega in 12th, with Luke Lucchese in 13th, Rennie Stangl in 14th, Javier Talavera 15th, Robin Astin 16th, Jeremy Orlemans in 17th, Stephen Donnelly 18th, Marcel Brettenbach in 19th, Tom Anderson 20th, John Ludbrick 21st, Gareth Newton 22nd, Alex Cohenratz in 23rd, and Joe Sparrow is in 24th. Beyond that, Graham Matthew 25th, Matt Hoyland 26th, Rob McKee 27th, Chris Keenan 28th, and Yanis Olber in 29th place. Yanis in the Lamborghini. So let's see how this one all pans out and goes once more as they go on this pace lap. 30 seconds here. The pace lap's going to be about a minute and a half, and then we will go into another 30-minute race once more. So let's see what develops, what goes on, and what happens here as well, as we're going to be getting this race up and running and underway very shortly here.
Pit stops are going to be... Why doesn't anybody actually change a livery to be like the pace car, the safety car? Come on, guys. Actually, there is, in another league, of course, that's on the JP Broadcasting Network, we do have a car that's actually the Formula 1 safety car. So, I thought that's quite interesting. As the Mercedes, yeah, come on, be the pace car, wouldn't that confuse you? I had a little bit of fun. Anyway, but this is the first time I've actually seen the Canadian driver, Danny. So, let's see how it goes. You'd be surprised too, James, that even in these reverse grids, some of these drivers do hold their own quite well in this feature race. So it's only, you see, usually it's a few laps later on down the track that they start getting under massive attack, of course, from the quicker drivers per se, of course, in class. But it's very, very interesting. I'm more likely to see about, the South African duo, isn't it? How they're going to slice their way through, because you've got one all the way back. Here, there's Tristan. Well, they're just moving around. They are side by side, of course, it should be. and Luca. So where it is, but James, of course, you know, it's a cheating start because it's a rolling start essentially and not a standing still. But that's only because there's just too many accidents. Okay, really, isn't it? And that drops everybody's chances of good racing out.
That and trying to clutch away a GT3 is going to be very difficult in general, as it looks like Graham Matthew and Rob McKee have had a little bit of a ta-ta-ta in the back of the field. We've got no Chris Keenan or Yanis Olber for this second race, so we've got 27 drivers on track. So let's see how it develops and how it goes here as well. So 30 minutes are going to be on the clock. 30 minutes on the clock. And the racing will get up and running. Switzer on pole position. I'm surprised he hasn't bolted by now. I would have already gone. You are chancing. Bostock taking you in turn one here, sir. He has gone now. What's Bostock going to do? Is he going to be able to get the run? He didn't, but Kostrick and Collishaw go side by side into turn one here as well. Contact in that third and fourth place. Now here comes the Audi of Joe Newman. We know he struggled with that one once more. Can he keep it on track as they go into Druids for the very first time? Outside the trees we go. Everybody makes it through. No real incidents there as well, Biggles, and everybody away cleanly.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say cut these damn trees down, please. It's a simulator. You don't need to have them there blocking the cameras. Side by side action here, James. Who's that? Actually, that's oh, he's got around for sure. Look at that, you can see the Audi at the moment. We'll get back to you on that one, James. Unfortunately, we have our replay system. But, well, actually, so far, so good. So, you know, it's quite clean. Quite clean.
Joe Newman there in that Audi. We do know sticking too much power through the rear end of the Audi does make it go through. That is one of the things that Audi drivers do, and they do it so well. It is throttle management here because that Audi does get quite slidey. As you can see here, he's going to try and get that stopped, and unfortunately just carried too much speed, and the Audi goes around. Joe Newman, unfortunately, now in the pits. Here once more, you see Thomas Pugh and Stitchbury fighting out. Battles up front as well with Switzer, Bostock and Collishaw. As you can see there, Sean Brattenbach goes in. Well, for me, at the end of that one, a little bit strange, but we'll see how that one works out as he's dropping down the order. There is Bostock, your leader, chasing down Switzer here. Biggles has kind of got to stop the Porsche doing Porsche things.
What do you mean? Porsches do great things. And there you go.
You wait. You wait. Mate, I said this the other day in the series I was covering.
There's a track there, guys. Sorry, go ahead. Scotty, you can't pass on the outside to the grass, even though he's trying. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, James.
Yeah, Kostruck there trying to make the move. There you go. The BMW's gone slow on the exit of Surtees, and now Bostock's in the lead. Don't squeeze in Switzer. You've got to give Collishaw room as it's coming down now as well. We've disappeared once more. Round Hawthorns we go. Now coming down into Westfield. Are they going to be able to hold on to this one as well as they drop down Dingledale side by side with Glass and Stitchbury? Stitchbury does get through. No, the Audi's going to take it too wide up through Dingledale. Watch Glass be on the grass. On the outside he is. There you go. Called it. Give me crystal ball. Call me Mystic Peg. And I'll make sure that you get the lottery numbers for next week as well. Stunning run there. Told you Joe Glass was going to end up on the outside there, Biggles. Dingledale side by side. Never good.
Well, Zach, there you go. So there's a casting curse out there for you. James knew it, and he called it. So, well, Zach will be like, that's just a coincidence, James. That's a coincidence. Few drivers going to pit road, which is not a bad idea. Once again, James, they can go in early. I don't think it matters too much at the end of the day, although we have had a couple of drivers that have short-fueled it before in the past and almost ran out of gas towards the very end. However, if you plan for it, and I do think that a lot of these drivers do plan for it in the reverse grid scenario, that they're going to probably box early, which means they'll carry a lot of fuel and then go to the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely are here as well, as the police are on their way to Brands Hatch here as well, and they are going to go and arrest Ewan Stitchbury and Nathan Brook there for pushing Joe Glass on the grass, as you hear him in the background here with real life police kicking in. Once more going on here as well. Watch out Switzer, watch out Kostrick, watch out Dina Brega. The police are on their way to Brands Hatch in the UK, and they're going to come and nick you all for pushing Joe Glass onto the grass. Glass goes onto the grass there and manages to save his
I thought that they go, wow, 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 or something like that in the UK, don't they? But anyway.
What's going on there, Biggles, in the background? It's either that or they're going to come and arrest you. One of the two. But there we go. Let's see how it goes on. The Brega is up here 7 places. China now can move past Scott Kostrick. And Scott is in that Porsche as well. He's not wrapping up the inside. Now you've got to lock it up. Kostrick, get across his nose. Take the inside of Druids. Force him around the outside. Kostrick did do that as well. Now they try to block him off. Crook lost the position to Nebrega. So Nebrega there as well, fighting it out, trying to clear Kostrick, trying to get away from Crook. And with Luke Lucchese coming as well. Crook defends there as well. Lucchese needs a new nose. See you later, some plastic surgeon. Get hold of Kim Kardashian.
James was down. James, I thought we lost you for a second there, James. The microphone and the internet's breaking in the excitement of this race. And of course, this is only the promotional race. This is what we're going to get. This is why we love reverse grids. It doesn't just spice it up as everybody's slicing through the field. Of course, the boss man's leading it there, James. So that's one James to another currently at the moment, but he has Paul in his tailpipe. But this is where the action is, of course, as the South African mastermind himself slices his way up to the P6.
Yeah, he's trying here as well. 25 minutes on the clock. The Casey, Crook and Stitch Free. That is the battle we're looking at the moment. 6th, 7th, 8th. We've still got an Evo up the front in James Bostock with Collishaw behind him in first as well for the Premier. Then we've got Danny Switzer sitting in second here as well. Joe Spiro did not have a good race. There's a Ferrari round. I think that was somebody there as well. I can't quite think who it was in that green.
Crook. Yeah, he was blocking the pit road too, James. So that was, if you wanted to consider about going into pit road, forget it. Was it here? Yes, I think it was here. And there it is. And look at
was there contact to Stitch Free's front? That's the problem.
There's somebody hitting the pit road there. Sorry,
Was there contact of Stitch Free's front end? We will never know. At this moment in the time as Joe Spira fighting now, but here is Scott Kostrick right behind Switzer. It is now heading down here as well. Coming into Hawthorne, he drops down under the bridge. Then we've got the right hander, dab the brakes, get it down, get it on the accelerator. There you go. Watch the back end of that Porsche. Your last thing you want to be doing is hitting the grass there, Scott. Otherwise, it's going to be good night, Vienna. You're going to do more pirouettes than a ballerina in Swan Lake, unfortunately for you, dear sir. If you're not completely careful, get it hooked over the curve of Dingle Down. Now onto that run, let it drift a little bit wide, not hit the grass, drop it down into Sterling's we go here, Biggles. And once more, Switzer in that BMW looks a little bit more comfortable than the old, unfortunately, Scott Kostrick there as well as they come round Clark.
So Scotty's trying to navigate his, Tristan's navigating his way through there, as well as Luke. And look at that, they're both gonna take a 2-for-1 special, a Scotty special. No, Scotty's still gonna stay there because he doesn't have to yield that position, remember, all because it's a reverse grid. Doesn't mean you have to give it up and you want to hold on to as much as possible, but obviously at the end of the day, they do know that Luke is a little bit quicker here, but Scotty is going to fight it. He has last season, James, and there it is. Eventually he'll have to yield it, but good job. And further back there, Paul is starting to close a little bit up on James, who's leading this race, but they got to get on with it, James, not to the other James, because we still have quite a bit of racing to go, and the way they're slicing through this field, I wouldn't be surprised if Tristan is not in P1 by...
You see Nebrega moving his way through the order. He has got a bit of a gap to the leader. It's 4.25 seconds at the moment. So can Nebrega make his way there as well, or is Lucchese going to get the win here? It's all about the Audi. You don't want to be on the grass there, son. I can tell you that much. It's not a good idea. Over the curbs, these two Audis go. Joe Newman, well, son, if you're in that Audi, you're going to need a little bit more practice on that throttle. Because if you slam it in the Audi, well, your back end's going to want to come and join the front. So you've got to keep it nice and feathered here in the Audi once more. The Breton backs are close together down in 17th and 18th. Marcel and Jean from the same team there as well, battling away quite nicely. There they are there. Jean in the BMW, Marcel in the Ferrari here, Biggles.
He's bringing Rated back. I'm just trying to think of that song. Anyway, Tristan's got past Danny, just like, oh, you want some door banging out there? There it is. So that will buff out, gentlemen, hopefully. And when one Republic of South African goes through, so does the other. Jenny doesn't got too much of a fight on that one, as he almost got forced off the track. But then again, what he can do right now, James, is try to mimic the same pace of these two superstars, really.
Yeah, and that's the only option they've got, is trying to stay with the guys now as well. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Let's see how it all develops and whether or not he's going to be there. Switzer stay with, of course, Luke Lucchese, who finished the first race with the victory. On your scoring is Paul Collishaw, who's trying to battle away with James Bostock, who's holding the back end of that Porsche on the floor at the moment. And I say that in a very light way, because trust me, when the Porsche does Porsche things, it's good night Vienna.
Here we go. Scotty's got in the pit road, so he's elected to do that. You're going to see a few of these other drivers probably coming in soon. Hopefully not all of you, because we want to keep some of these battles brewing out on track. Pole is eventually... I'm just wondering if there was a little mistake there that James has made, the boss man. James never makes mistakes, does he? No. Can't.
Mate, at the end of the day, we're only human. If he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. Let's just see here once more what goes on. But as you and I both know, there is a lot happening. There's a lot developing in racing, especially in multi-class. So let's see how it goes and see what goes on here once more. Do you see Stitchbury just clearing Switzer there as well? Stitchbury does go through in that Merc, finished third in the first race, now sitting in fifth in race two. A great job from you and Stitchbury in that Mercedes. So let's see how this one develops. 20 minutes on the clock. Joe Spira not had a good race, battling away with Rennick Stangl here once more. This is for 5th and 16th class. Spira up 15 places, Biggles. That just goes to show how much of a bad race he had in race one.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the good thing about two races, isn't it? You get a second chance. It's redemption. Of course, it won't count you for any points in a promotion race, but it gives you motivation. You see that during, anyway, the races during the season. You see drivers who have a very good first race, and of course they come back in a second race, and that's what it's all about. You never give up. As Winston Churchill say, never give up, never surrender. And you don't in a motor race when you've still got 12 minutes change to go. Still, James now he's got to do his defensive work, or will he look at boxing? What big questions.
Well, to be fair, I would be looking, if I was James, trying to get at least a couple of more laps under my belt, trying to get some movement going on and trying to open up a little bit of a gap as best as he possibly can. So we'll find out how it all goes on here, James. What does James do?
Yeah, James.
I think that's the thing. James talking about James, and James has got to try and do what James wants to do.
If James could pass the car, if James could drive, you know, if the truck would chuck. So anyway,
yeah, exactly.
You'll have to come up with this. So they're going to have to get a move on at the moment, because they're going to hold up Tristan. I think Tristan's going to try to take a 2-for-1 special. He has done it before. Look at just the sheer pace that he has. He's like, these gentlemen are loving this Audi. They are driving the wheels off this machine, and their pace is just remarkable, gentlemen. They're in the 22 club. Everybody's in the 23s.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely flying. Bostock on the 23, in the Braga there as well. You can see Collishaw goes into the pits. Now this is time for Bostock to get his foot down. He's got Nebrega and he's got Lucchese closing him down, coming in and out as well. Over the 10-minute mark we go. It's 13 minutes almost on the clock. This is all about it. For what I would do now for Bostock, complete this lap, go into the pits. Jobs are good.
Yeah, because you know that they're going to be under the back of you very soon, and all you're going to be doing too really is risking the fact that you could come together here and lose a crucial position. You know, we don't know how far in the top 10 he's going to be, because whoa, there's a snap of oversteer from Luke, and he saved it. But there again, so now he's Tristan's going to be commanding this race again between these two South Africans.
Yeah, nice little action development here. Luke Casey getting a big old slide on there as well. That Audi not loving the power input. We did say you've got to be gentle with it. You've got to be gentle with her. Treat her like you treat your lady. Take it out for dinner. Wine it, dine it. And definitely don't go slamming on the throttle. Otherwise, Lucchese, as he found out there, the Porsche...
Oh! There's Jack! There's the boss man into the fence! Oh, no!
Oh, called it! Called it!
Didn't call it.
Bostock has probably done the same thing for 10 laps. The Porsche did Porsche things on James Bostock. His back end wanted to join the front. Oh, he wasn't there as well. He just got off the brakes over Dingle down there. Biggles. Porsche doing Porsche things. And that could be the end of Bostock's lead.
And I'm wondering right now, because this is it. So Tristan's gone in. And so Luke has stayed out. So it's going to be interesting. This is time for Tristan to put some banker laps in there. And maybe Luke, of course, could put some bank down. I want to see. We got a sneaking feeling, of course, it's going to be these two once again, first and second. And I just want to see how they, because now they haven't followed each other in the pit road, James. They are separated at the hip somewhere along the line.
Yeah, they will. They might be able to go in and get some time there. As we can see, Alex Cohenratz once more in the Porsche. Oh, dare I say it, or was there contest? I'd give up on that one. We can have a look back and let's see if the back end of the Porsche decides it's had enough.
Here we go.
Or
yeah,
was it? Did Cohen? Yeah, of course it does. Look at that.
He tried to correct it. I'm just wondering if he shouldn't have tried to correct it, right? And just let the car kind of flow out close to the fence and then let it slow down naturally like that. But, you know, it's easier said than done when you're up here and not inside the car at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem as well. When you're trying to correct something, you correct it too much. And that is what happens here. A Switzer has just cleared Cohenratz as well.
All right, so
not doing himself any favours.
Stitchberry's gone in as well as our race leader as well. Joe Glass is now, look at that, but Joe has to come back to pit road. Now, it's going to be interesting. Where's Tristan on the track map? There he is, James. He does have traffic, but it's a little bit too far away. Don't think it'll compromise him. And then we'll have to see how Luke pans out with this one. I think Tristan might have him here. What do you think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're going to see what happens with Lucchese, whether or not he can
let's
get
look
out
at-
quick enough. There he is. He's on the run. Lucchese's got out. And Stitchbury got out in front of him as well.
Yeah.
No, it's the Nebrega and it's Lucchese once more. So it's all on glass. Can he get on with it here? Can he shift that rear end of that Porsche, retake this lead and see what happens? But at the moment, Bostock, how did he get on? He's sitting down in 10th at the moment as Bostock after leading as well. So let's see. For James there, that incident going in up the corner of Dingle really cost him the lead of this race, Biggles.
Yeah, but Thomas as well too, James. Look at that. He's literally, this is his position currently at the moment. In P3, he's on the back. He's in the middle of a South African sandwich at this point, but he's holding his own in the pace in the Beamer. Beamer's doing the Beamer things there, James. So we'll see how that's going to...
The interesting thing about the Beamer, it does his things consistently, right? That's the thing. You knew what you're going to get with the Beamer. I don't know if anybody's as old as me, so you might not remember the Milky Way advert where he said the red car and the blue car had a race. The blue car, all the blue car wanted to do was stuff his face. That is the Beamer. The Beamer will eat the curbs, and it will eat them completely. It will literally just go over the curbs at the moment and munch them. It will be like they're not even there. You know, it's like a Big Mac here when I'm eating one. It will just take it without an issue whatsoever. So the Beamer is a great car consistently. For Glass, he didn't quite get out of the pits in the lead. He's come out in 6th. He's still up 3 places though, Biggles, but he's got Joe Sparrow up for company.
Yeah, and Joe, and there's a little bit of another battle down there at the moment between the Brayton backs, I think, there of the I can't even pronounce their team name there, James. If you can pronounce that one down the bottom there. Bray Bruges. Zachary, come on, what is it? Zachary's usually pretty good at this stuff. All right. Tristan now on the back here of Thomas. And I say they want to make it a 1 and 2 again. And that looks like taking candy from a baby. But he is no baby, Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, we've got 12 minutes remaining here as well. As we're going to come to the end of this one. Let's see how this develops. And let's see what goes on here as well. Thomas Pugh, Paul Pollishaw battling it out here with Stitchbury in front in the Mercedes. Glass is trying to come up on the Porsche here with Joe Sparrow. Glass once again leading that Evo in that promo race once more. Don't forget the season starts next week. Race 1 will kick off next week. You'll have Dean Biggles and Dara Thacker in the booth, who will be running through race 1 at the circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. So that's going to be an interesting one round the hybrid circuit of Canada. Not quite a street circuit, not quite a track circuit. It's a mixture of both. It's kind of like a Toyota Prius, mixture of electric and gas at the same time.
It reminds me of Albert Park a lot, really. In that one, because they're also around a lake. Well, it's a man-made island actually too, well, in Canada. For that circuit. But Joe Glasser, you just saw it was the second pit stop there from Stitchbury, so I'm not quite sure what he went back on the pit road. I don't think he started in pit road. But it's going to place him all the way back down. I feel, as you can see, just dropping as everybody's going to be zooming on by. One of the worst feelings, isn't it, as a race driver, James, when you're sitting in the pit road and you hear that zoom, 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 zoom. That's a place every single time it's passing you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think from how long Stitchbury's been in there for, I don't know if he's had damage or if at the end of the day that could be some form of penalty that he may have had to take. We'll see on that one. So let's see as the grandbacks go at it once more. John Ludbrook and also Stephen Donnelly down in 16th and 17th. They're fighting away for 5th and 6th place there with Javier Talavera, who's got a 4.8 second gap. But here is Donnelly, there is Ludbrook. It's the Ferrari versus a Porsche. Unfortunately for Ludbrook, you know, the Porsche is, well, the Porsche is just a Porsche. So, but let's see. But, I'm not going to start anything, but the Ferrari seems to be the most stable car here.
What about the Audi? Here we go. There's the overtake on the outside from Jean. And job done. Look at the traffic around. There's a couple of blinking cars. That traffic is not traffic there, James. That is literally racing position. You can see they're all down there, 7th, 8th, 9th there. James, of course, he's just hanging inside the top 10. They have lost 7 places. I saw that little moment. Could have potentially, I think he might have been around maybe where Joe was. Could have actually been battled with Joe in class. And once again, you're looking at your grouped tower as well to show you how they're all doing in class. So James would be 2nd currently in class, but I think he would have been probably where Joe Glass would have been. It would have been a bit of a battle if he didn't have his off-track excursion with your casting cursing.
No, I didn't curse him. At the end of the day, I just said the Porsche will be doing Porsche things, and it did exactly what the Porsche things do, and the Porsche things did, and the back end of the Porsche went round for the Porsche. So it's not like I'm doing it there as, you know, on purpose, but it's just one of them things. Here, and it reminded me of a GT3 I did the other day. Somebody said, who's going to be the first car? And I said it will be a Porsche going round 130R. He's going to hit the curb and put it in the wall. What happened? The Porsche went round 130R. He put it in the wall. And do you know what the bet was? An Australian had to stand outside his work with the Union Jack. Take a picture.
Oh,
so,
we already have a Union Jack in our flag anyway, so that's not really that insulting, is it?
No, he had to stand there with a whole Union Jack. So there we go. It was a kite there as well. Pete Baxter giving the show from the Premier Endurance League. He had to stand outside his work with a Union Jack.
You get shot in Australia for doing that. Lucky.
Yeah, well, he was a bit cheeky. He did it on a tablet, but I said it was the same thing. So bless him, he honoured the bet.
Yeah, well, Joe Glasser is trying to honour his way up into a P4, as Phil was talking about Aussie rules. It's not Albert Park, an Aussie rules site. It's not an Aussie rules site, Albert Park. No, Phil, they play at the stadiums. That's right. And the park, of course, is open to the public during non-Formula 1 weekends. And you know that actually, believe it or not, that track, I mean, I'm not quite sure if I recall actually since the modification, but outside of Monte Carlo, it's the second most least overtaking track in Formula 1. You wouldn't think it would like being essentially a boring race, but it has been. You know what the number 1 is, my friend? Unfortunately, it wasn't on the calendar this year, but China. China's the number 1 overtaking Formula 1. Okay.
Well, probably. It wouldn't surprise me there as well. No surprise that Monaco is the most
boring. Yes.
Boring.
It's a pit stop race. Yes.
Yes, it is exactly just that. And generally, the person who's on pole wins the race. Just saying, putting it out there. I love the history of Monaco, but boy, oh boy, does it drive me crazy. The racing is so depressing. It's like my Sunday lunch. I eat it at the start, I fall asleep in the middle, and I wake up with about 5 minutes to go. Generally, the same results are like so the guy equally does win the race. Scott Kostrick chasing down Bostock. Bostock, gonna let him through. Come on, James. Get some speedy, son. You know what I mean? I know you're in the Evo class, but get on with it there, big boy. Give him a little bit of a tussle. It is only the promo race.
Oh, he made a mistake, James. There it is.
I'll give you that, Mr. Bostock. But next time, fight harder. Collie Shaw at Glass. Glass has just gone past Collie Shaw. We're going to get back to live pictures and go and pick it up here as well. They've just gone past. Glass has just gone past Collie Shaw. Collie Shaw's going to have a go now down into turn 1. Down through Paddock Hill we go. He's going to look for the cutback of that Ferrari. He's got to get the run up the hill and take the inside. Glass has got to cover off the inside. He does do. Late, mind you, so you want to be a little bit careful of that one, Glass, before somebody manages to hit your rear end. So let's see what happens to Collie Shaw here.
Oh! There it is. There it is, Zach, if you're still watching at the moment there. I put the camera on him and there's a moment. So, yes, that's my the odds of it happening is quite good. I should work that one out. But further back, there is a couple of battles there. You have Javier, the Portuguese driver, the sole Portuguese driver on the grid there on the back there of John. That battle was brewing. We also had Jeremy here on the Bossman, of course, is now back in play because of that moment. But he has Renee, if it is here. First time I've actually ride on board here with Renee on the 100 machine. So good to see that. I think another new driver there this season, which you can see. There's like Yin and Yang, right, for the Twilight car.
Yeah, running standard there, half black, half white. As well. Great. Is that an eyeball on the side of his car?
Ah, it looks like a planet. It's Twilight. It looks like a moon or something like that.
Oh, okay. No, it looks absolutely amazing.
An eclipse or something, perhaps. I'm not quite sure.
It is. Yeah. Yes, it is. So he's battling away here. We've got Talavera fighting out with Ludbrook further down the order as well. 5 minutes on the clock as your leaders are off through Graham Hill on the run up to Surtees now as well. But we're focused on Talavera. Is he going to be able to get through? This is Jeremy Orlemans chasing down James Bostock. Is Bostock going to give a bit more of a fight? Is he going to make that mistake again? Does he want Orlemans to come through? What is going to be the situation? James sitting in class, second in class at the moment. He made a mistake that allowed Spartan Kostrick to go through the first time. There he is here as well. So let's see what happens to James and see what goes on once more as the fight does take place here. Biggles is going to be an interesting one.
It will be. Just also, Joe's being caught by, we presume, these two family members. We'll get to something about that one. Javier still there on the back there of John Lebrook. But more interesting is that Tristan in P2 has been chipping away. We're talking about chipping away by just barely under 100ths of a second, I think it is, per lap there, James. But chipping. So I think he might try to take it there to Luca towards the end of this race. We're getting down to the dying stages, not much time.
He hasn't got much time at all here, to be fair, Biggles, so we're going to have to keep an eye and see what goes on. Is Jean going to go at the inside? He has. That's him through on Joe Spara. And Spara there, trying to comes back on him. He's got the cut back on the inside. That's how to do it. Breton run wide, out through Paddock Hill, and Spara got the run up through Druids here once more as they go down into Graham Hill now. It's going to be a very interesting fight once more between these two. We're coming into the last 27 minutes there. Not quite sure why the white flag lap is on. I'm pretty sure that is not in completely control here. Not entirely sure what is going on with the timing system here today. Seems a little bit bizarre here.
Try to see if we can see. No, we can't actually. We can't see Barney at the moment from the cameras that we have. So sorry about that. Yeah, Barney, well, you might be fired. You keep that up, my friend. Then again, it is a promotion race, so at least to get it out of your system now. Any of those little glitches. See the checkered flags up, but not anywhere near it.
No.
Yeah. As you can see, there's your race leader. They just crossed the line right now. No, it is done, James. Sorry, there it is. So Licker got it. Wow. That definitely caught us off guard.
What?
Yeah, because we still have 2 minutes of racing.
Yeah, not entirely sure what happened there, guys. Not gonna lie. So I've still got 28 minutes, or I've still got
I do
2
as
minutes,
well.
or am I missing?
No, that is correct, but I guess it's just maybe we'll talk about that one. Strange. Anyway, it is what it is because that race is done, and once again, the South African duo get it done. We have to give it to Thomas, isn't it? I think Thomas had a fantastic drive on this one because him and Joe Glass were having that nice battle towards the end. 7 positions gained, but if you want a driver of the day, my friend, old Joe, who's into the fence at the moment, that doesn't matter because it's the end. Where are you, Joe? Joe, there you are. I was doing some burnouts. And why not? He's excited because 19 positions gained, James. 19. Take that one.
Yeah, well done for Joe. We're waiting for the last couple to go over the line before we get to the end of this one as well. We'll bring you up the final results. So we'll wait for them just to finish off, and then we'll bring you up the results here as well. And that will wrap up this week's promo race. Of course, round 1 starting next week. Don't forget, for the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. So let's see what goes on up there as well. Here is the results. Luke Lucchese takes 2 out of 2 here and takes the win with Tristan Dinabrega in second. Thomas Pugh in third this time. Joe Glass does go and win the Evo section once more. Joe Spira in 5th, Brettenbach and Marcel Brettenbach in 6th and 7th. Collishaw in 8th, Scott Kostrick in 9th. James Bostock gets second here once more in the class with Nathan Crook in 3rd. Javier Talavera in 15th, John Ludbrook 16th, and Graham Matthew in 17th place. So we go on from there.
Here you go, James.
Then you've got Danny Switzer 18th, Gareth Norton 19th, Alex Korenratz in 20th, Tom Anderson 21st, Stephen Donnelly 22nd, Hoysian Saraka Dessler in 23rd, Ewan Stitchbury 24th, Robin Aston 25th, Rob McKean 26th, and Joe Newman in 27th place. So there we go. Here, and of course, then we're blurred out. We've got Chris Keenan and Yanis Orberg, who did not to this one as well. So let's see what goes on, and let's see how this develops once more as the season.
So I don't know, James. Do you think about we're wrapping it up that one there at the moment there for our first promo race, Brands Hatch?
Yeah,
no, you have to go. Yeah.
There as well. I do, unfortunately. Straight into another one after this one as well. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Plenty more racing coming up on the JPB YouTube channel this weekend. So get yourselves and stay tuned for that one once more here as well. But from myself up here in the booth and the mighty Dean Biggles, I've got to shoot off. So take care. Have a great week. And as always, you never know. We might see you on the track sometime. Good night.